Hello and welcome to Budget Blasts. In this series, pick out a random game from the Switch eShop's current offer section and decide whether it's a blast or if you should give it a pass. In today's episode, we're looking at the Mutant Mudds Collection, currently on sale for only £2.19, which is 80% down from its usual price. This collection includes Mutant Mudds Deluxe, an enhanced version of the original 2012 release on the Nintendo 3DS, along with Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, an expansion to the original offering another 40 levels, all of which have a much higher level of challenge, some of them with brand new boss fights as well. And finally, making up the 3-in-1 package is Mud Blocks, which is what I'd describe as a modern blend of Tetris and Wario's Woods. Starting with Mutant Mudds Deluxe, you take on the role of Max, sitting in his home with his nan, before an asteroid strikes the Earth, signalling a muddy invasion. With little preamble, you're taken to the level select screen, where you're given much more freedom of choice than you would be in, say, a 2D Mario title. Levels in each given world can be tackled in your desired order, with a couple of exceptions, such as stage 4-4. This way, if you do get stuck on, say, 2-2, you can head into 2-3, instead before coming back to give the first stage another try. On top of this, the lightning quick respawn time should you die, which will happen a lot, prevents frustration coming into play at any point. Very few deaths feel unfair. Gameplay is very simple. You can jump, hover for a short time and shoot, the latter two being upgradable at your grandma's house. At first, the game's physics, particularly the in-air momentum, did feel very off to me, almost as if you are flying through treacle. However, this is offset by the game's hover mechanic. This gives you a crucial few milliseconds to adjust your landing position and becomes ever more crucial as the difficulty ramps up. Each level is very short, usually lasting 2 or 3 minutes, the time taken being indicated at the top of the screen. The goal is quite simple. You reach the end of the stage and collect as many of the 100 rhombus-shaped doodahs each stage contains as you go. Each world contains only 4 stages, and each world adds new environmental hazards and enemies to stop the formula stagnating. However, this being said, I found myself only ever playing 3 or 4 stages at a time. This is a game that definitely favours the Switch's handheld mode, which is ultimately unsurprising considering its roots on the 3DS. Aside from the usual platformer tropes, Mutant Mudds introduces a plane switching mechanic that quite literally adds depth to what is generally considered quite a stale genre at this point. Unlike, say, Fez or Guacamelee, you don't have the freedom to choose when to activate this mechanic. Instead, Mutant Mudds relies on special platforms to switch between the foreground and background at specific points within the level. All of the levels are designed around this, and it forces the player to become familiar with platforming from several different perspectives. My only main criticism of Mutant Mudds would be its art style. Clearly, a simple, clean art style suits a game designed for handhelds. Described by the developer Renegade Kid as 12-bit, Mutant Mudds would look at home somewhere between the NES and the SNES, with very simple backgrounds and platform designs, combined with much more detailed 16-bit style enemy and collectible sprites. The bright colours and basic geometry help the game to pop, but it still leaves something to be desired. This is no Sonic Mania when it comes to maximising a pixel art style. That being said, the chiptune soundtrack fits the gameplay and art style well, and while I couldn't replay any of the music in my head, it helps keep the action flowing and is fitting of the aforementioned 12-bit style. Moving on to part 2, we have Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, essentially an expansion to Mutant Mudds Deluxe. Super Challenge comprises an additional 40 levels. While the basic concept is identical to the original game, difficulty does take a steep turn upwards. This truly is for the hardcore fans and will result in considerably more deaths and controller throwing moments than any of the first game's 80 stages. There's not much more to say about this mode. Its inclusion is certainly generous, considering that there is already a wealth of content available in Mutant Mudds Deluxe. Finally, to top off the package, we have Mud Blocks. Perhaps the least interesting of the 3 key components of the bundle. Your objective is to simply match colour blocks together to clear your screen in a similar vein to Tetris. However, rather than a number of different shapes, you play one coloured square at a time, hence the nod to Wario's Woods made at the beginning of this video. I highly doubt anyone bought the collection or will buy the collection exclusively for Mud Blocks, but it is a fun distraction if you do get tired of the core game at any point. Several modes are included, some being endless, 2-player versus 2-player co-op, And while there are better puzzle games out there, I still recommend dabbling with this mode, or even getting a friend or sibling involved as well. So to conclude, is Mutant Mudds Collection for Nintendo Switch a blast? Absolutely. At the time of recording, the full collection, as previously mentioned, is on sale for £2.19, which is again 80% off its normal price. With the main game alone offering 4 to 6 hours of content, followed by a 3-hour expansion, and a nifty little puzzle game to top things off, the game does offer serious value for money even if you do pay the full price for it. Its difficulty may be a little much for younger or less experienced players, but if you just come off the back of say Sonic Mania, Celeste or even New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, this is a great title to add to your lineup. I cannot recommend Mutant Mudds enough. Even with its slightly lacklustre art style and occasionally frustrating physics, you won't find another game in the eShop offering this much content at such a great price. This has been Nintendo Stuff, and until next time, thanks for watching.